A puppet state, puppet regime or puppet government, is a state that is de jure independent but de facto completely dependent upon an outside power and does its bidding. Puppet states have nominal sovereignty, but a foreign or otherwise alien power effectively exercises control, for reasons such as financial interests, economic or military support. Puppet states are distinguished from allies in that allies choose their actions on their own or in accordance with treaties they voluntarily entered. A puppet state preserves the external paraphernalia of independence, such as a name, flag, anthem, constitution, law codes, motto and government, but in reality is an organ of another state which created, sponsors or otherwise controls the government of the puppet state. International law does not recognize occupied puppet states as legitimate. Puppet states can transition from puppet status through military defeat of the puppet master state, as in Europe and Asia in 1945, absorption into the puppet master state, as in the early Soviet Union, achievement of independence through standard state-building methods, especially through decolonization. Topic: Etymology of the term. In the Middle Ages, vassal states existed which were based on delegation of rule of a country from a king to noble men of lower rank. Since the Peace of Westphalia of 1648, the concept of a nation came into existence where sovereignty was connected more to the people who inhabited the land than to the nobility who owned the land. The term is a metaphor which compares a state or government to a puppet controlled by an outside puppeteer using strings. The first recorded use of the term, "puppet government", is from 1884, in reference to the Khedivate of Egypt. Topic: 19th century. The Batavian Republic was established in the Netherlands under French revolutionary protection. In Eastern Europe, France established a Polish client state of the Duchy of Warsaw. In Italy, republics were created in the late 18th and early 19th centuries with the assistance and encouragement of Napoleonic France. See also French client republics. In 1836, U.S. citizens allowed to live in the Mexican state of Texas revolted against the Mexican government to establish a U.S.-backed Republic of Texas, a country that existed less than 10 years from May 14, 1836 to December 29, 1845 before it was annexed to the United States of America. However, in August 1837, Memecan Hunt Jr., the Texan minister to the United States, submitted the first official annexation proposal to the Van Buren administration, the first American-led attempts to take over Mexican Texas by filibustering date back to 1819 and by separatist settlers since 1826. In 1896, Britain established a state in Zanzibar. World War I. Kingdom of Poland 1916 to 1918. The Central Powers forces occupied Russian Congress Poland in 1915 and in 1916 the German Empire and Austria-Hungary created a Polish monarchy in order to exploit the occupied territories in an easier way and mobilize the Poles against the Russians. See Polish legions. In 1918 the state became independent and formed the backbone of the new internationally recognized Second Polish Republic. Kingdom of Lithuania 1918. After Russia's defeat, the Germans established a Lithuanian kingdom. However, it became an independent republic with Germany's defeat. Duchy of Courland and Semigalia 1918. In 1915 the Imperial German forces occupied the Russian Courland Governorate and the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk ended the war in the east, so the local ethnic Baltic Germans established a duchy under the German crown from that part of Ober-Ost, with a common return of civil administration in favor of military. This state was very swiftly merged with the Baltic State Duchy, and German-occupied territories of Russian Empire in Livonia and Estonia, into a multi-ethnic United Baltic Duchy. Kingdom of Finland 1918, a short-lived monarchy in Finland after the end of Tsarist rule. Provisional National Government of the Southwestern Caucasus and Provisional Government of Western Thrace were the provisional republics that were established by the Turkish minorities in Thrace and Caucasia, after the Ottoman Empire lost its lands in these regions. Both were the products of the Ottoman intelligence agency, Teşkilat-i USA, in terms of organizational structure and organizers, and they had remarkably common features. Republics of Soviet Russia, Soviet Union. In Ukraine: Odessa Soviet Republic 1917–1918. Soviet Republic of Tavrida 1917–1918. Donetsk Krivoy Rog Soviet Republic 1917–1918. Ukrainian People's Republic of Soviets 1917–1918. Crimean Socialist Soviet Republic 1919. Galician Soviet Socialist Republic 1920. Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic 1919–1941. In Belarus: Socialist Soviet Republic of Byelorussia 1919. Lithuanian Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic 1919. Byelorussian Soviet Socialist Republic 1920–1941. In Central Europe: Slovak Soviet Republic 1919. Hungarian Soviet Republic 1919. In Lithuania: Lithuanian Soviet Socialist Republic 1918–19, 1918–1919. Lithuanian Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic 1919. In Latvia: Executive Committee of Latvia 1917. Latvian Socialist Soviet Republic 1918–1920. In Estonia: Commune of the Working People of Estonia 1918–1919. In Finland: Finnish Socialist Workers' Republic 1918. In southern Russia: Black Sea Soviet Republic 1918. Kuban Soviet Republic 1918. Kuban Black Sea Soviet Republic 1918. Stavropol Soviet Republic 1918. Terek Soviet Republic 1918. North Caucasian Soviet Republic 1918. In Caucasus and Caspi: Mugan Soviet Republic 1919. Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic 1920–1991. Persian Socialist Soviet Republic 1920–1921. Transcaucasian Socialist Federative Soviet Republic 1922–1936. Armenian Soviet Socialist Republic 1920–1991. Georgian Soviet Socialist Republic 1921–1991. Socialist Soviet Republic of Abkhazia 1921–1931. In Turkestan: Bukharan People's Soviet Republic 1920–1925. Khorazm People's Soviet Republic 1920–1925. In Russian Far East: Russia Eastern Outskirts 1920. Far Eastern Republic 1920–1922. Tuvan People's Republic 1921–1944. Topic: Non-realized republics of Soviet Russia. In Moldova: Bessarabian Soviet Socialist Republic in exile 1919. In Poland: Polrevcom 1920. Imperial Japan. During Japan's imperial period, and particularly during the Pacific War, parts of which are considered the Pacific theater of World War II, the Imperial Japanese regime established a number of dependent states. Nominally sovereign states. Manchukuo (1932–1945), set up in Manchuria under the leadership of the last Chinese emperor, Puyi. Mengjiang, set up in Inner Mongolia on May 12, 1936, as the Mongol military government. Mengu Junjungfu was renamed in October 1937 as the Mongol United Autonomous Government. Mengu Lian Men Ziji Zheng on September 1, 1939, the predominantly Han Chinese governments of South Shahar Autonomous Government and North Shaanxi Autonomous Government were merged with the Mongol Autonomous Government, creating the new Mengjiang United Autonomous Government. Menjiang Lian He Ziji Zheng, all of these were headed by De Wang. East Hebei Autonomous Council, a state in northeast China between 1935 and 1938. Dadao Government, Shanghai 1937–1940, a short-lived regime based in Shanghai. Reformed Government of the Republic of China, first regime established in Nanjing after the Battle of Nanjing. Later fused into the Provisional Government of China. Provisional Government of China December 14, 1937 to March 30, 1940 incorporated into the Nanjing Nationalist Government on March 30, 1940. Nanjing Nationalist Government March 30, 1940–1945 established in Nanjing under the leadership of Wang Jingwei. State of Burma Burma, 1942–1945 Head of State, Ba Maw. Second Philippine Republic 1943–1945 government headed by José P. Laurel as president. The Provisional Government of Free India 1943–1945, set up in Singapore in October 1943 by Subhas Chandra Bose, was in charge of Indian expatriates and military personnel in Japanese Southeast Asia. The government was established with prospective control of Indian territory to fall to the offensive to India. Of the territory of post-independence India, the government took charge of Kohima after it fell to Japanese INA offensive, parts of Manipur that fell to both the Japanese 15th Army as well as to the INA, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Empire of Vietnam Han II, Yunnan Di Guo March–August 1945 Emperor Bao Dai's regime with Tran Trong Kim as Prime Minister after proclaiming independence from France. Kingdom of Cambodia March–August 1945 King Norodom Sihanouk's regime with Sun Ngoc Ton as Prime Minister after proclaiming independence from France. Kingdom of Laos, King Sisavang Vong's regime after proclaiming independence from France. Unrealized drafts for dependent states. Japan had made drafts for other dependent states. The Provisional Primary government never got beyond the planning stages. In addition to the Japanese, the Germans supported the formation of this state. In 1945, as the Second World War drew to a close, Japan planned to grant independence to the former Dutch East Indies, now Indonesia. These plans ended when the Japanese surrendered on August 15, 1945. Topic: Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. Several European governments under the domination of Germany and Italy during World War II have been described as puppet regimes. The formal means of control in occupied Europe varied greatly. These states fall into several categories. Existing states in alliance with Germany and Italy. Hungary's Government of National Unity 1944–1945, the pro-Nazi regime of Prime Minister Ferenc Szalasi supported by the Arrow Cross Party was a German puppet regime. Arrow Cross was a pro-German, anti-Semitic fascist party. Szalasi was installed by the Germans after Hitler launched Operation Panzerfaust and had the Hungarian regent, Admiral Miklós Horthy, removed and placed under house arrest. Horthy was forced to abdicate in favor of Szalasi. Szalasi fought on even after Budapest fell and Hungary was completely overrun. Existing states under German or Italian rule. Albania under Nazi Germany 1943–1944. The Kingdom of Albania was an Italian protectorate and puppet regime. Italy invaded Albania in 1939 and ended the rule of King Zog I. Zog was exiled and King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy added King of Albania to his titles. King Victor Emmanuel and Sheke Bej Verlasi, Albanian Prime Minister and Head of State, controlled the Italian Protectorate. Sheke Bej Verlasi was replaced as Prime Minister and Head of State by Mustafa Merlika Kruha on 3 December 1941. The Germans occupied Albania when Italy quit the war in 1943 and Ibrahim Bej Bikaku, Mehdi Bej Frasheri, and Recep Bej Mitrovica became successive prime minister under the Nazis. Vichy France 1940–1942. The Vichy French regime of Philippe Pétain had limited autonomy from 1940 to 1942, being heavily dependent on Germany. The Vichy government controlled many of France's colonies and the unoccupied part of France and enjoyed international recognition. In 1942, the Germans occupied the portion of France administered by the Vichy government and installed a new leadership, which ended much of the international legitimacy the government had. Monaco 1943 to 1945. In 1943, the Italian army invaded and occupied Monaco, setting up a fascist administration. Shortly thereafter, following Mussolini's collapse in Italy, the German army occupied Monaco and began the deportation of the Jewish population. Among them was René Blum, founder of the Ballet de l'Opéra, who died in a Nazi extermination camp. New states formed to reflect national aspirations. Slovak Republic under the Slovak People's Party 1939 to 1945. The Slovak Republic was a German client state. The Slovak People's Party was a clerofascist nationalist movement associated with the Roman Catholic Church. Monsignor Jozef Tiso became the president in a nominally independent Slovakia. Independent State of Croatia 1941 to 1945. The Independent State of Croatia, Nezavisna Država Hrvatska or NDH, was a German and Italian puppet regime. On paper, the NDH was a kingdom under King Tomislav II Amani, Duke of Spoleto of the House of Savoy, but Tomislav II was only a figurehead in Croatia who never exercised any real power, with Ante Pavelić being a somewhat independent leader, Poglavnik, though staying obedient to Rome and Berlin. States under control of Germany and Italy. Greece 1941 to 1944. The Hellenic state administration of Georgios Solikoglu, Konstantinos Logothitopoulos and Ioannis Rallis was a collaborationist puppet government during the Axis occupation of Greece. Germany, Italy and Bulgaria occupied different portions of Greece at different times during these regimes. Government of National Salvation 1941 to 1944. The government of General Milan Nedic and sometimes known as Nedic's Serbia was a German puppet regime operating in the territory of the military commander in Serbia. Locket Republic, Russia 1941–1943. The Locket Republic under Konstantin Voskoboynik and Bronislaw Kaminsky was a semi-autonomous region in Nazi-occupied Russia under an all-Russian administration. The republic covered the area of several rayons of Oryol and Kursk oblasts. It was directly associated with the Kaminsky Brigade and the Russian Liberation Army Russkaya Osvoboditelnaya Narodnaya Armia or Rona. Belarusian Central Rada 1943–1944. The Belarusian Central Council Belarushkaja Centralnaja Rada was nominally the government of Belarus from 1943–1944. It was a collaborationist government established by Nazi Germany. See Reichskommissariat Ostland. Quisling's Norwegian national government 1942–1945. The occupation of Norway by Nazi Germany started with all authority held by German Reich Commissioner Reichskommissar Joseph Terboven, who exercised this through the Reichskommissariat Norwegian. The Norwegian pro-German fascist Vidkun Quisling had attempted a coup d'état against the Norwegian government during the German invasion on 9 April 1940, but he was not appointed by the Germans to head another native government until 1 February 1942. Independent State of Croatia 1941–1945 formed after the invasion of Yugoslavia. The independent state of Croatia was led by the Croatian fascist leader Ante Pavelic. It controlled all or most of Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, parts of Serbia, and parts of Slovenia. The government relied on German support for much of its existence. Italian Social Republic. The Italian Social Republic 1943–1945, known also as the Republic of Salo, General Pietro Badoglio and King Victor Emmanuel III withdrew Italy from the Axis powers and moved the government to southern Italy, already conquered by the Allies. In response, the Germans occupied northern Italy and founded the Italian Social Republic Repubblica Sociale Italiana or RSI with Italian dictator Benito Mussolini as its «head of state» and «minister of foreign affairs». While the RSI government had some trappings of an independent state, it was completely dependent both economically and politically on Germany. Allies during and post-World War II. Soviet Union. Tuvanian People's Republic, also Tanu Tuva (1921–1944), achieved independence from China by means of local nationalist revolutions, only to come under the domination of the Soviet Union in the 1920s. In 1944, Tanu Tuva was absorbed into the Soviet Union. Second East Turkestan Republic 1931–1949. The Second East Turkestan Republic, usually known as the East Turkestan Republic (ETR), was a short-lived Soviet-backed separatist republic which existed in the 1940s in what is now the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of the People's Republic of China. Finnish Democratic Republic 1939–1940. The Finnish Democratic Republic Suomen Kansanvaltainen Tasavalta was a short-lived republic in those parts of Finland that were occupied by the Soviet Union during the Winter War. The Finnish Democratic Republic was also known as the Terijoki government Terijoen Hallitus because Terijoki was the first town captured by the Soviets. Azerbaijan People's Government 1940–1946, a short-lived state in Iranian Azerbaijan after World War II. Latvian Soviet Socialist Republic 1940. In June 1940 the Republic of Latvia was occupied by the USSR and in July a government proclaimed Soviet power. In August 1940, Latvia was illegally annexed by the USSR. Lithuanian Soviet Socialist Republic 1940. In June 1940 the Republic of Lithuania was occupied by the USSR and in July a government proclaimed Soviet power. In August 1940, Lithuania was illegally annexed by the USSR. Estonian Soviet Socialist Republic 1940. In June 1940 the Republic of Estonia was occupied by the USSR and in July a government proclaimed Soviet power. In August 1940, Estonia was illegally annexed by the USSR. People's Republic of Poland 1945 to 1988. The wartime governments under the Polish Committee of National Liberation, the Provisional Government of the Republic of Poland, and the Provisional Government of National Unity. National Communist State of Romania 1945 to 1968. The wartime National Front (FND) government under Premier Petru Groza. The FND was led by the Romanian Communist Party (PCR). Since 1968, Romania refused to participate at the 1968 invasion of Czechoslovakia and started trading and warm relationship with the Western world, resulting in Soviet Union to lose control of Romania as a puppet state. Czechoslovak Socialist Republic 1945 to 1988. The wartime pro-communist government National Front. People's Republic of Bulgaria 1945 to 1988. The wartime pro-communist Fatherland Front government headed by Kimin Georgiev Zaveno. Hungarian People's Republic 1945 to 1988. The wartime government of Prime Minister Bela Miklós. Republic of Mahabad January 22, 1946 to January 15, 1947, officially known as the Republic of Kurdistan and established in several provinces of northwestern Iran, or what is known as Iranian Kurdistan, was a short-lived republic that sought Kurdish autonomy within the limits of the Iranian state. Iran retook control in December and the leaders of the state were executed in March 1947 in Mahabad. Democratic Republic of Afghanistan 1978 to 1991. As Soviet forces prevailed over the German army on the Eastern Front during the Second World War, the Soviet Union supported the creation of communist governments in all of Eastern Europe. Specifically, the People's Republics in Poland, Romania, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Hungary, and Albania were dominated by the Soviet Union. While all of these people's republics did not officially take power until after World War II ended, they all have roots in pro-communist wartime governments. United Kingdom. Historically, the British Empire has planted various dictators on thrones because of its own geopolitical interests. For example, the British occupation forces brought back Sardar Abdur Rahman from Bukhara, imposed on him the Gandamak Surrender Treaty, and made him Emir of Afghanistan. This extremely ruthless man, ruled as a puppet dictator for 2 decades 1880 to 1901, applying barbaric practices against his own subjects, but remaining dependent on British Government of India for money, weapon and protection. The Axis demand for oil and the concern of the Allies that Germany would look to the oil-rich Middle East for a solution, caused the invasion of Iraq by the United Kingdom and the invasion of Iran by the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union. Pro-Axis governments in both Iraq and Iran were removed and replaced with Allied-dominated governments. Kingdom of Iraq 1941 to 1943. Iraq was important to the United Kingdom because of its position on the route to India. Iraq also could provide strategic oil reserves. But, due to the UK's weakness early in the war, Iraq backed away from the pre-war Anglo-Iraqi alliance. On 1 April 1941, the Hashemite monarchy in Iraq was overthrown and there was a pro-German coup d'état under Rashid Ali. The Rashid Ali regime began negotiations with the Axis powers and military aid was quickly sent to Mosul via Vichy French-controlled Syria. The Germans provided a squadron of twin-engine fighters and a squadron of medium bombers. The Italians provided a squadron of biplane fighters. In mid-April 1941, a brigade of the 10th Indian Infantry Division landed at Basra, Operation Sabine. On 30 April, British forces at Raf Habaniya were besieged by a numerically inferior Iraqi force. On 2 May, the British launched pre-emptive airstrikes against the Iraqis and the Anglo-Iraqi War began. By the end of May, the siege of Raf Habaniya was lifted, Fallujah was taken, Baghdad was surrounded by British forces, and the pro-German government of Rashid Ali collapsed. Rashid Ali and his supporters fled the country. The Hashemite monarchy, King Faisal II and Prime Minister Nuri al-Said, was restored. The UK then forced Iraq to declare war on the Axis in 1942. Commonwealth forces remained in Iraq until 26 October 1947. Imperial State of Iran 1941 to 1943. German workers in Iran caused the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union to question Iran's neutrality. In addition, Iran's geographical position was important to the Allies. So, in August 1941, the Anglo-Soviet invasion of Iran, Operation Countenance, was launched. In September 1941, Reza Shah Pahlavi was forced to abdicate his throne and went into exile. He was replaced by his son Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was willing to declare war on the Axis powers. By January 1942, the UK and the Soviet Union agreed to end their occupation of Iran 6 months after the end of the war. Decolonization and Cold War. In some cases, the process of decolonization has been managed by the decolonizing power to create a neo-colony, that is a nominally independent state whose economy and politics permits continued foreign domination. Neo-colonies are not normally considered puppet states. Dutch East Indies. The Netherlands formed several puppet states in the former Dutch East Indies as part of the effort to quell the Indonesian National Revolution. East Indonesia, East Java, East Sumatra, Madura, Pasundan, South Sumatra, Banjar, Bangka, Billiton, Central Java, East Kalimantan, Great Dayak, Southeast Borneo Federation, West Kalimantan. Congo Crisis. Following Belgian Congo's independence as the Republic of the Congo Leopoldville in 1960, Belgian interests supported the short-lived breakaway state of Katanga 1960 to 1963. East Asia during the Cold War. During the 1950–1953 Korean War, South Korea and the United States alleged that North Korea was a Soviet puppet state. At the same time, South Korea and Japan was accused of being an American puppet state by North Korea and its allies. Additionally, in 1951 Dean Rusk, the Assistant Secretary of State for Far Eastern Affairs, branded the People's Republic of China a «Slavic Manchukuo», implying that it was a puppet state of the Soviet Union just as Manchukuo had been a puppet state of the Empire of Japan. This position was commonly taken by American propaganda of the 1950s, despite the fact that the Chinese Communist movement had developed largely independently of the Soviet Union. Following the victory of the Viet Minh in the First Indochina War, the 1954 Geneva Accords stipulated that Vietnam would be divided for 2 years only, until national elections could be held. However, the Americans along with Ngo Dinh Diem feared that Ho Chi Minh and the Communists would win the election. The state of Vietnam and the United States didn't sign the Geneva Accords, citing that it was impossible to hold free and fair nationwide democratic elections in the Communist North, and this was later expressed by UN observers monitoring the partition of Vietnam. As a result, South Vietnam and the U.S. were not bound by its terms. In 1955 the Vietnamese President Ngo Dinh Diem, supported by the United States, declared the independence of the Republic of Vietnam in the southern half of Vietnam. Over time, Diem grew increasingly uncomfortable with the role of the U.S. in his country, complaining that they were increasing the conflict with North Vietnam. Diem's complaints became more vocal as American soldiers, called advisors, continued to pour into the country, and some began calling Diem an uncooperative client and a puppet pulling his own strings. After he became seen more as a liability than an asset to America, Diem was assassinated in 1963 with the complicity of the CIA and John F. Kennedy. During the Vietnam War, South Vietnam was allied with the U.S. and other anti-communist states in Asia and the West, whereas North Vietnam was allied with China, and particularly the Soviet Union, and with other socialist and communist nations. South Africa's Bantustans. During the 1970s and 1980s, 4 ethnic Bantustans, some of which were extremely fragmented, were carved out of South Africa and given nominal sovereignty. 2 Ciskei and Transkei were for the Xhosa people, and 1 each for the Tswana people and for the Venda people Venda Republic. The principal purpose of these states was to remove the Xhosa, Tswana and Venda peoples from South African citizenship and so to provide grounds for denying them democratic rights. All 4 were reincorporated into South Africa in 1994. After the Cold War. Republic of Kuwait. The Republic of Kuwait was a short-lived pro-Iraqi state in the Persian Gulf that only existed 3 weeks before it was annexed by Iraq in 1990. Current. Algeria. Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. The Polisario Front's government in exile has been accused by Morocco of being a puppet state used by Algeria to fight a proxy war against Morocco. Armenia. Artsakh in Nagorno-Karabakh functions as a de facto part of Armenia. In 2015, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Artsakh and its administration survives by virtue of the military, political, financial and other support given to it by Armenia, which, consequently, exercises effective control over Artsakh and the surrounding territories. Russia. Abkhazia is considered a puppet state that depends on Russia. The economy of Abkhazia is heavily integrated with Russia and uses the Russian ruble as its currency. About half of Abkhazia's state budget is financed with aid money from Russia. Most Abkhazians have Russian passports. Russia maintains a 3,500-strong force in Abkhazia with its headquarters in Gudauta, a former Soviet military base on the Black Sea coast. The borders of the Republic of Abkhazia are being protected by the Russian border guards. South Ossetia has declared independence, but its ability to maintain independence is solely based on Russian troops deployed on its territory. As South Ossetia is landlocked between Russia and Georgia, from which it seceded, it has to rely on Russia for economic and logistical support, as its entire exports and imports and air and road traffic is only between Russia. Former President of South Ossetia Eduard Kukoity claimed he would like South Ossetia eventually to become a part of the Russian Federation through reunification with North Ossetia. Transnistria is sometimes considered a puppet state which is supported by Russia. Donetsk People's Republic is considered to be a puppet state which is supported by Russia. Lugansk People's Republic is considered to be a puppet state which is supported by Russia. Topic: Turkey. Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. According to the European Court of Human Rights, the Republic of Cyprus remains the sole legitimate government in Cyprus, and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus should be considered as a puppet state under Turkish effective control. Its isolation, the Turkish military presence and the heavy dependence on Turkish support mean that Turkey has a high level of control over the country's decision-making processes. That has led to some experts stating that it runs as an effective puppet state of Turkey. Other experts, however, have pointed out to the independent nature of elections and appointments in northern Cyprus and disputes between the Turkish Cypriot and Turkish governments and conclude that, "puppet state" is not an accurate description for northern Cyprus. Saudi Arabia. Yemen, the Hadi government is generally considered a puppet regime which is supported by Saudi Arabia. United Arab Emirates. Yemen, Southern Transitional Council is sometimes considered a puppet state which is supported by the United Arab Emirates. See also